everybody, welcome to my work kitchen. Normally I film my videos at home, but today I thought I'd bring you to work with me. Also, I'm here on a Sunday when nobody else is here. This is usually a very bustling, crazy busy kitchen. But because it's a day off, our heating and cooling is programmable thermostat, and there's no heat today and it's really cold. So if I look a little silly, I'm sorry, but I'm freezing. But anyway, thank you for joining me. We're going to make the most delicious German chocolate cake today. And of course, it's vegan. Okay, let's get started with our delicious vegan German chocolate cake. So with baking, traditional recipes use eggs. A great substitute for eggs is to make a flax meal egg, and they're really, really easy. So I thought I'd just show you how you go about it when you're trying to incorporate a flax meal egg into a traditional recipe that would call for eggs. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start making our flax eggs. Rule of thumb is a tablespoon of ground flax meal to 2.5 tablespoons of water to replace 1 egg in a traditional recipe. So I've got my flax meal in here, and I'm going to add 2.5 tablespoons per flax egg. Okay, so I've added my 2.5 tablespoons of water with 1 tablespoon of the flax meal per egg, and I'm just going to give it a little whisk to make sure all of the flax meal is incorporated into the water. And then all you do is let it sit for a few minutes. Looks like this, and as we let it sit, it's going to slowly thicken just a bit. Okay, we've let our flax eggs sit for about 5 minutes. While the egg mixture was sitting, I went ahead and greased my cake pans, and I'm doubling my batter today so that I have enough batter to make some German chocolate cupcakes. Okay, so flax egg looks like this, just kind of a thick, loopy mess, and I'm going to now add all of my liquid ingredients to the cake. That includes some pure vanilla extract. I'm going to add some plant milk. Today I'm using almond milk. The variety of plant milk really doesn't matter to the recipe. Oat milk is great. Coconut milk. Actually, coconut milk would be really appropriate for a German chocolate cake, but whatever you have on hand. I'm also going to add some grape-seed oil. I love grape-seed oil for baking. It has a very high burn point. It has a very mild neutral flavor, so grapeseed oil is a great option when your baking calls for some oil. I'm also going to go ahead and add my organic sugar to the liquid mixture, because sugar actually ultimately is considered a liquid ingredient in a cake. And also, try and wean yourself off the plain old regular white sugar. There is a difference. Sugar can be vegan or not vegan. And it's not the content of the sugar that has animal product in it. But what happens is when traditional sugar is made, it is put through a gelatin filter. And gelatin, as you know, hopefully is ground up animal cartilage. Try and be conscientious to make sure I don't use any animal products in all of my cooking. So vegan sugar, it makes a difference. I have some organic unbleached flour. I have a nice quality chocolate or cocoa powder. I have a little bit of sea salt, and I have some baking soda. So I'm going to gently whisk these items in. And with a cake, you don't want to over stir it. To keep that nice, fluffy, light texture that you want in a cake, you need to just kind of quickly and gently combine all of your ingredients. Okay, so our cake mixture is all incorporated. Our liquids, our dry ingredients. And now we have one final ingredient, and it's the key to the light, wonderful texture of this cake when it's done. We're going to add some white vinegar to the cake mix. And what happens is when the vinegar reacts with the baking soda that I've already put in here is going to create air bubbles, and that will lift and lighten my batter, and that's what will produce the nice texture that we're going for. So I'm just going to quickly stir in the vinegar. And I know it probably sounds pretty strange to add vinegar into a cake. You're thinking, ooh, sour, acid, yuck. Well, trust me, you're not going to know the vinegar's in there when we have the finished product. Okay, here we go. We have the cake batter portioned into the 3 bake cans. I'm doing pans, not cans. Doing a 3-layered cake today. So let's get these in the oven. I thought I'd add this quick little video to show you why we use vinegar, of all things, in a chocolate cake recipe. Let's do a little science experiment. I've got a big tub of baking soda here. Just gonna pour a little bit in my bowl. Now let's add some vinegar. See what happens to that mixture. Can you see that? That's what's happening inside a cake. See that foam bubbling up? So as that cake's in the oven, the vinegar and the baking soda are having that reaction, and it actually lifts up your grains, your flour, your cocoa powder, everything, and expands that cake, and then it sort of cooks in place. So that's how you get a light, fluffy texture. Science. Okay, now the fun part. We're going to work on our coconut pecan frosting for this delicious German chocolate cake that we're going to make. And right now, what I'm doing is melting some plant-based butter with some brown sugar. What I'm going to do as that butter continues to melt is the next step. I've got a cup of plant milk here, and I'm using coconut milk this time because it's a great match for our coconut frosting. I have some natural vanilla extract in here, and now what I'm going to do is take some cornstarch, and I'm going to mix this really well with the cold milk. And this is a really, really important step. If I were to add the cornstarch to the hot pan, it would lump together and never break apart, and we would have a frosting with little cornstarch lumps in it. So I'm going to slowly add this mixture to my butter and brown sugar. And as soon as that cornstarch hits the heat, it's going to start to thicken my mixture. Okay, my mixture has thickened. It's turned into this beautiful golden color. So now I'm going to add in my dry ingredients. I've got a cup of chopped pecans, and I've got 2 cups of coconut. And I'm just going to combine everything here, and then I'll take it off the heat. Okay, I'm going to turn the heat off, and this is what it's going to look like. It's a beautiful golden brown color. It's full of coconut. It's full of the chopped pecans. Smell the vanilla. Now what I need to do is remove this mixture from the heat, and I'm going to put it aside to cool. We've got our cakes cooling, we've got our coconut pecan frosting cooling, and now we're going to make one more frosting that's going to help make this cake fantastic. I have some German chocolate bars, baking bars, that I just bought at the local grocery store. They're easy to find. And I'm just going to break the chocolate bars down so the pieces are smaller. And I'm going to add a stick of vegan butter with it. So I'm going to put the chocolate and the butter in the microwave to melt. You're going to want to put your mixture in the microwave for no more than about 30 seconds each time. And then after the microwave stops, go in and go ahead and stir it. Our chocolate mixture is ready. Just make sure you don't overheat it, but it should end up nice and smooth. The butter and the chocolate combined, it should be silky smooth. So what I'm going to do is take my mixing bowl. I'm going to add powdered sugar. I'm going to add some coconut plant milk. I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla extract. And then the chocolate and butter mixture goes in. It is ready for the mixer. I'm going to take this over and let the electric mixer do the work on this so we get a nice smooth texture. So just a reminder, today we're making German chocolate cupcakes as well as a 3-layered German chocolate cake. So our cupcakes have cooled enough to handle, and I'm going to actually take part of the center of the cupcake out and make room for some filling. So I have this handy little tool here. These are easy to find at craft stores. But what I'm going to do is just dip it in some cocoa powder first. That way it won't stick to my cake mixture. And why cocoa powder? Because I'm making a hole in chocolate cake, and I don't want to make a mess. If I was using or working with white cupcakes, I'd probably dip this in powdered sugar. Out comes this little plug, chocolate cake. It just goes in a bowl for someone's snack later. But what I'm going to do is actually take the coconut pecan frosting that we made earlier and fill the center of these cupcakes with it. And then they'll be iced over on the top with our chocolate, German chocolate icing. So once someone bites into the cupcake, there'll be a nice little surprise inside. So cupcakes all have a hollow center. That's how you do it. Okay, here we go. Let's start the fun part. I've got some of our coconut pecan frosting inside this filling bag or piping bag, and I have a flat round tip attached, and it fits nicely down inside that little hole I just made. So I'm just filling it with our yummy frosting, and right out of the gates, one of the pecans clogged up my tip. That's all right, no big deal. But we're just going to go through and fill the centers of each of these cupcakes. As you can see, each cupcake has been filled with our coconut pecan frosting. Okay, let's get started on our cake. They all baked up beautifully, and what I generally do is put just a little blob of icing down in the center of my cake board, and this just kind of acts as a glue and anchors the first layer to the board. And also another tip, I always use my cakes upside down. When the cakes bake, the surface gets uneven, irregular. The bottom, they're always exactly or perfectly smooth. So if you just use your cakes turned upside down, you'll have a nice, smooth, even surface to work with. Okay, I have a layer of our German chocolate frosting spread over the first piece. And now I'm going to take just a little bit of our coconut pecan icing frosting and spread that around as well. And the coconut frosting is just going to be a really thin layer because we're going to use more of it on the outside. Okay, we're ready for layer number 2. And again, it's upside down. Oh, I'm so excited. It's going to be so pretty.